Hi, my name is Marie Cloud. I am owner and principal designer of Indigo Pruitt Design Studio, based in Charlotte, North Carolina. I serve both residential and commercial clients in this area. Growing up, my mom did a really good job of exposing me to different ways of living, beautiful spaces, and encouraging me to try and see new things, no matter how small it was, whether it was trying a new food or whether it was aiming high for a position, in student council in school. She did a really good job of putting new things and new experiences in front of me. And so an example of that was during the weekends, she would take me after church. We'll go up to the nicer neighborhoods and the affluent spaces of the city and see beautiful homes. We would go, tour model spaces. We would drive around, just look at the beautiful architecture of homes that I really wasn't able to see and experience Monday through Friday. But on occasion, we'll take a ride up the hill and look at beautiful homes. And so I think that was like the first time that I was really captivated with structures and architecture and just the beauty of home. And then when I went off to school, I went in as an architecture major initially. And then I quickly changed my major to design after visiting some career expos and kind of diving a little bit deeper into really the elements that I like about structures. And it was more so the interior elements. And so, I started out as an architecture major, shifted to design my early sophomore year, and finished up my degree and worked for a commercial firm, American Interiors, and started out in the design world there, eventually working for Sherwin-Williams. I worked for them for a number of years. Then I decided to start my own business. Indigo Pruitt is rooted in, kind of a segment of me loving history and me having the core value of my family. And so my maiden name is Pruitt. And so I wanted to make sure that my business was representation of the fact that family is priority for me. I love the lineage of just generational beauty that my family has instilled in me, and the valuing of that importance. And then indigo. So I'm gonna geek out a little bit. The indigo dye, of course, is absolutely beautiful. We love the variations of blue and that vibrancy that indigo brings. But the way that it's extracted from the flower, there's like a whole scientific process that I found so intriguing. And the indigo dye itself has touched so many places in the world and was a sense of wealth and income for women in places where women weren't really treated fairly. And so this was kind of a refuge for them and their families, and a way that they could take care of their families. And so I just love the history behind the indigo dye. And I think it aligns well with how I value my family and the legacy that I want to pass along. Indigo Pruitt was created in 2017, and the goal was to create an outlet for me. It was during a time where I left a fast-paced industry in the paint world, and I wanted something that reinvigorated my sense of design, that kind of reconnected me with that childhood inspiration of home. And my goal was to just do designs for people that I love. I started designing for families and friends, and literally begging people, like, please let me just come in here and come up with something better than what you have, because this is a hot mess. And they loved it, and they started to respond really well. I started to build my portfolio up, and there became just this beautiful synergy between my spaces that I now know was me building the foundation for the Indigo Pruitt aesthetic, which I think is just a beautiful layer and blending of styles and textures and cultural influences. I think my specialty and kind of the sweet spot for design that I bring into the industry is, first and foremost, I'm big on relationship building. If you haven't noticed, I like storytelling. I like to hear folks' story. And I like to get to know what that story is so it can play out aesthetically with my clients. And I think I do that in a very unique deep way than your typical designer. I spend a lot of time with my clients on the front end, getting to know them and pulling back some layers. The second thing I think is a superpower of mine is I design through the five senses, like literally the five senses. When you walk into my spaces, you are going to get a taste of them all of those senses. I like to make sure I'm having music in the background. There's going to be some sort of fragrance in the air. And those are going to be things that's going to align with my client based on those initial conversations. What are some signature smells, that align with you? What is that music that makes you feel good in the morning you want to wake up to? There's always going to be texture in my spaces, so you're always going to see things that you want to feel and touch. And the visual aesthetics are going to be in alignment with my client, and they're going to be those that invoke emotion and just soulful experience. The design industry's biggest challenge from my perspective is striking the beautiful balance of creating space and opportunity for designers of color. Hands down, it's one of the thorns in my side as a designer of color. Honestly, I think there's so much opportunity to expose the beauty that Black designers bring, to the world, and not allowing it to be set as tokenism. Ensuring that there's intentionality around these opportunities and that there's conversations that's being had, but most importantly, the action is being made behind it. I think over the last few years, we've learned that it's nothing that's going to come natural. It's not going to happen organically. If there's no systems and process and intentionality in place, that beautiful tapestry of diversity is not going to happen, and has to start from the leadership down. My favorite color, hands down, is black. I don't even know if you're going to count that, but I think it's a statement color that can ground a space. I think it's one of those colors that's never going to be too trendy or go out of style. But I think it grounds any space, no matter what the style or aesthetic is. However, I love playing with new shades. I get tired of a certain colorway very quickly. I'm quickly running to my fan deck looking for a new tone or looking for a new element. I don't even know if this will come as a surprise, but I love to have a good time. I love to let my hair down, let my curls out, shall I say, turn some music on, pour me a drink, let the music blast and vibe out. I will forever be the girl pulling up to the meeting with my music blasting unapologetically.